User joined your channel.
Good morning. I'm doing fine. You're kind of quiet there.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're better. I'm barely coming over for a minute. Yep, Trump's in hot water again today. Can you believe that?
What did you do now?
Well, he said he was going to shoot nuclear weapons into Russia.
Oh yeah, when did you say that?
Well, that would be something to get in hot water over, right?
I said, when did he say that?
No, just answer my question first, and then I'll answer yours.
Oh, would that be, yeah, sure.
If you heard that, wouldn't you be scared as hell? What the hell's he doing? Man, we need to check in on this, right? No, actually, he didn't say that. What he said was he wanted to look into going after voter fraud, including people that live in, that are registered in 2 states and illegal immigration and all that. That's what he tweeted. So he's in major trouble for that now.
Yeah, considering his chief advisor is registered in 2 states.
Well, not only that, they found out that his daughter was registered in 2 states when she voted this year.
Be registered in more than one state, so you get a slot of vote in more than one state.
Exactly, and that's what they're coming out saying. So it was semantics. Instead of saying, but he's got to learn this if he's tweeting, but, instead of saying, I'm going after voter fraud, and also people who are registered in 2 states and illegal immigration or, something like that. He said includes. So by using the word includes, that includes those. So therefore he's saying it's voter fraud, and he doesn't know any better, even though Obama said that he was going to make sure he hit all 57 states when he was on his campaign tour. Nowhere cared about that. I'd like to know what our other 7 states are. In other words, just semantics. People are going after anything that I swear, if you would tweet, literally, and tell me I'm wrong on this. If he would tweet, I have a toothache today, but I really don't want to go to a dentist. And then, maybe tomorrow or something. But, if that was his tweet, I really don't want to go to a dentist. The next thing you'd see in the news headline is, Trump hates dentists. Trump is after dentists. Trump doesn't like dentists.
Sets a bad example for young people. Not going to a dentist.
Oh, yeah. Trump sets bad example for not going to the... Yeah, that'd be the big thing. I'd like to know who has the time to figure out all this stuff. Hillary was actually registered in 2 states at one point.
You know what it is, right? And
They hate him, and they want to find anything they can.
it's not just him. I mean, it's just more antagonistic now than it used to be. But I was just reading an article yesterday, or was it this morning? Maybe I think it was this morning. Anyway, it said that since 2010, the amount of registered journalists in the U.S. went from 56,900 or something like that down to 22,000 something because of things like Twitter and YouTube and yada yada yada. So
You went down? It went down?
Oh yeah, way down. And the media said over 100 dailies have disappeared in the last year alone. So what it was going on to say was it never mentioned Trump's name, period, or Trump's administration. What the article was about was the use of social media and the amount of advertising and news that's actually gone through social media mediums now, such as Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, yada yada. Some of it fake, but a lot of it real and on-the-moment news, like where you get it right now, not when you get home at 6 on TV or
Right.
the paper, right? So those things are taking over, and whereas the media now, this article is about, and it used examples of other countries in the past that are also democracies, that the media has turned and is now trying to survive, so they're using any means possible. And if that means attacking the establishment, then that's what they're going to do. They're looking for sensationalism to try to survive, is what the article is about.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, look at. Do you even get a paper now?
No, well, yeah, yes, I do, but not because I asked for it. It's the free one from the community, right? It's like the city.
Oh yeah. See, I stopped our well, I don't know how yours is. We have a newspaper here. You know, it's a Gazette, and I used to get it,
Yeah, we
and
have here too. We have two of them, two majors.
you know, it's just yeah. I don't get mine. We have one major one. I don't get it. What I did for a while is because they started being $10 a month, and then they offered $24 a year to get it online. I said, "Oh, that's great. $2 a month. I can get it online." So that went for about 3 years, and you know, I could read it. That's where I am most of the time anyway, looking from my computer, so I can do that instead of having to open a newspaper and it gets wet and you know all that other crap. Recycle it, whatever. Anyway, so then they came out because no one was taking the paper, you know, at the $10 price. You know, I mean, I look around here, maybe one person in our street out of 10 gets the newspaper thrown. And so they came out and said this next year it will be $14.95 online per month. I said forget that, so I just canceled it, you know, for that price. But you know now they're all going online, but charging you even a larger. They don't have to print it or anything else, you know. So it should be cheaper. Well, I've always felt, even back when newspapers were newspapers, they should be throwing it for free because they got all these ads in there, and the ads should pay for it.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It never seems to work that.
So I thought that might be eventually the way they go. They'd still print, but you know, it'd be free. And you know what happens is once a week they send me the ads. They still throw for free all the ads that come in the Sunday paper, you know, for the next week. So I get the big huge bundle of all which I don't mind. It gives me all the ads. I get them for free. It used to be you had to go out and buy the Sunday paper to get those. And a lot of people just register for Sunday paper. But one of the other things I wanted to say, if you have looked at a newspaper lately compared to the old days, your point, you know, expressly. I remember when I used to open a paper and the financial section was like 15 pages long. And if you look at the paper today, it's like 2 pages. Because they used to put in all the stock market quotes and what was going up and what was going down and all that. You can get that instantaneously now by going to Yahoo for free. Go to Yahoo Finance and you can set up a little thing and put all the stocks you care about in there, up to like 1,000 stocks, which has that. You know, and follow them by the instant. So the papers realize nobody's looking at their stuff, so they take that out. Just saves some money. Same with sports. I mean, the paper used to be, I remember the paper used to be like 50 pages, you know, the daily paper. And now it's like 15. And 90% of the time when I used to read it, I'd read the headlines and kind of the story there and just thumb through it real quick. Probably more than anything, the one thing, and they haven't done this yet, maybe you could make some money at this, I don't know. You know, as far as advertising. The obits. I used to read the obits, see if anybody died that I knew.
Yeah.
And now I don't get those anymore. I got a friend of mine that I work with that I'm kind of concerned. I'll probably try to call him today. Because we used to go to lunch about once every 2 months. That was about the only time we met. But we talk, you know, see how each other is doing. And I haven't been able to get a hold of her for like 3 months. Yeah. But he just retired, so I'm thinking maybe he took like a year trip around the world or something, you know. We'll put him out.
What's up, bro? Come on, bro. What's up, bro? Yeah? Yeah? I'm back.
Welcome back.
Remember yesterday you were talking about or no, it was yesterday, but, about the pipelines and stuff that the
Yeah.
Obama had made. Well, you noticed Trump yesterday, signed orders saying, yeah, this is going to be approved, that's going to be approved. But he put a caveat on the one for the Keystone XL. After we renegotiated, he says.
Yeah. And
So, what he don't understand is that what I heard from this side of the border in the media is the guys from the Keystone XL said, well, everything's in place. We just have to reconfirm with the oil companies whether or not they still want to ship. On the
right.
line, because there's no point in having it if they don't have any customers, which they're pretty sure they do. But also, there's no point in building it if it's not profitable. So we'll see what he wants to negotiate. Right. So you can build the pipeline all you want from the U.S. border down to the coast, but if there's not the hook to in Alberta, what's the point? That's what they're why would
Right.
we, as a Canadian company, build American this, American that, American the next thing when it's not profitable for us? So we'll see what the negotiation says. But, you know,
True.
on the upside, oh, great, absolutely good. Well, they're positive, but skeptical as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought they stopped it going through some Indian reservation, huge Indian reservation
That's
up
the
there
other one.
too.
That's the Dakota one. This is the Key
Oh,
West
okay.
one. They're two different ones.
Okay.
And what's happened in the meantime, what the U.S. I guess there's another one that's called the Trans Mountain Pipeline that goes to the west coast here. That China and those countries are going, yay,
Right.
because it's been tripled in capacity. That's just been approved. It was approved before the election, so yeah. So they're already we're going, fuck the U.S. and we'll just go to the west coast where China wants it and ship it there. What the hell? You know what I mean? So
Right.
when you want to say it and renegotiate, well, we already got a customer, so what's there to renegotiate? We said we'd do it this way, either do it or no. We don't. It's up to you.
Right.
As I said, it's politics. You know, he's a businessman, but he's using politics. He's only telling half the story.
That's all they ever do. He's learning.
He's learning. That's what I'm saying. So he's taking advice from somebody.
Yeah. Well, gonna celebrate Monday. Huge celebration.
What's going on Monday?
Paying my house off.
Oh, nice.
Last payment.
Good for you.
Got the payoff and everything. They're gonna take it out. Usually comes out the first, but I just called and said, let's do the payoff. Make sure you know that's official. Then they send everything out. I don't have to wait for them. So, yep, been in this house 20 years, a little over 20 years, a few months. So, own it free and clear. Won't have to make any more house payments. That's going to be nice. But I still got to make all the property tax, all that stuff. So that saves me $1,000 a month. Or not save, but I don't have to put out.
Yep.
So we're thinking about buying a new truck, and that way we can put out, you know, still keep putting out, helping the economy.
Yeah, buy another house. It'll go up faster in price than you'll ever get for your money in the bank.
Probably so. I wish I would have done it in 2006. I could have bought a house around here, my exact house, for about $180,000, and it's worth about like I said, about $250, $260 now. That's what, 6 years?
Yes.
Almost doubled.
Try and double your money in 6 years at the bank. Not going to happen.
Right. And I wouldn't even had to pay that much. In other words, I would have just paid $1,000 a month for 6 years. That's $60,000, right?
Yeah.
Or $72,000.
So put up 72,000 over time to make 100. That's not bad.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, about 100. Yeah.
Probably by the time you pay fees and everything.
But you actually make more than that, because if you think about it, about half of that would go into principal, so you get that money back.
Yeah, but
The interest is what you'd be losing.
But you'd also got to pay tax on your capital. It'd be capital gains tax, don't you? Because it's not your property.
Yeah, I would have. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So you're going to lose that. So that's
you're gonna lose. So,
pretty,
yeah, it's a
I call
push.
that a push, right? So
Yeah.
you might gain a bit, but not usually the government doesn't give you that much anyway.
Well, the ideal thing to do would have been to buy it then. Okay, this is how the government works. And then rent it. Okay, rent it off and on. And you just do this with one house. You do a decent house, a decent area. You rent it. Of course, you got to deal with renters. But let's say you rent it for half the time, so you get that money back. And you can depreciate it somewhat, and so that helps, on your taxes. Then what you do, now that this one's paid off, I sell it. Okay, if I sell the one I'm in, I get a $500,000 tax credit on the price of the house. Well, it's only $250,000, so that's only half of that. So I wouldn't have to pay any capital gains on this house. I'd sell it take that money, move into the next house that I had rented, and if I lived there 2 years, I can sell that and do the same thing. So I wouldn't have to pay any taxes at all if I sold this and moved into that and stayed there 2 years. So that's another way around the taxes, see?
Yeah.
So essentially, you know, I would have taken $150,000 and made about $250.
Yeah.
So that would have been great. It takes a move, though. He wants to move.
Yeah, true.
We think about it, but it's like, oh, gee, you know, move. Oh.
That's when you hire people. They come in, they box it all up for you, and
Oh my gosh, you know how much it costs to have, you know, move people now? For me to move, it would probably cost at least $15,000, maybe 20. If I just had somebody else come in and do it all.
what do you need to take with you that you can't get at the other end? That's the whole point. You just get rid of everything except pretty much what you can carry in a suitcase, and that's it. You're done. See you later. Sell everything.
Yeah, that means having a whole bunch of garage sales. Or giving it away, which is fine. You know, some of the stuff I'd give away. My neighbor did that. I mean, not my neighbor, my friend that went to Guam. I'm amazed. He gave good stuff away. I mean, I can't take this big screen TV. You need it.
Yeah.
He says, if you don't take it, I'll just take it to Goodwill.
People tend to worry about too. Well, you know how much I paid for that? Who gives a shit? You don't need it. You're not going to use it, so whatever. Consider it done.
Yeah, you got to get in that mindset.
Right? It was good while you had it and while you used it, but otherwise you don't need it anymore. It's a hassle. So.
And if you haven't used it, then why you got it?
Exactly. It's just a liability now because it's cost me to move it. You won't use it again anyway. So what the fuck? But generally, people look at things like that. They go, "Oh, you know how much sentimental value that has? It's a goddamn shovel." You know what I mean?
My wife's really good at throwing crap away, and everything. She's got a bunch of old tools that she'll never use and I'll never use, but they were her dad's. She doesn't want to throw them away.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
It's a screwdriver, man.
It's a damn screwdriver.
In fact, I could go out there and take my screwdriver, put it in that box, take his screwdriver out, use it all the time, and she'd go back there, wouldn't even know it.
Yeah. But it's important to her that,
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm under the Murphy's Law of throwing things away, though. So, you know what the Murphy's Law of throwing things away is?
yeah, if you throw it away, you'll need it 6 days later.
Yeah, exactly. That's like I have 6 or 7, maybe 8 tape measures. And I can never find one that I go look for.
What was it my son said? Yeah, he said, when you need something, go ask my stepmom. He was telling his buddy this in front of me. His buddy says, oh yeah, I mean, don't ask your dad. He says, because my dad has shit he doesn't know he owns.
That's true.
He says, yeah, he says, he bought us a long ago, he forgot. My stepmom never forgets nothing. He says, she knows where everything is.
Yeah, that's the point now. We have enough. I have one just about every drawer, so I can just go to the drawer. One drawer and another. What's funny though is I'll go to one drawer and 3 of them will be in it.
Yeah. Oh, my uncle, it was funny. He laughed about that. He says, I forget what it was. But he was teaching industrial mechanics classes in high school, right? And
Yeah.
so they were having a barbecue, and I was raise money or whatever, and he said they were doing this every year. So he's got this idea. I forget what it was. He'd make a spit or something, right? Oh, because they just do that. Geez, why didn't I think of this before? So when he's done and everything's over, you go to put it away, and I know where I'll put this, and he goes to put it someplace. Oh, there was the one he made the year before. Well, you know, you're
I
going,
know.
boy,
Exactly.
such a good idea. I did it the year before and forgot where I put it, and yada. Did it all over again.
Yeah. Yeah, Mary Tyler Moore died. Oh, it's sad. She seemed like a good lady. Who knows? Facebook broke 130 today. It's nice. Keeps going up. I hope. Hope that's my $1 million stock.
Tesla stocks have jumped up a lot too.
Oh, really? Wow. Never saw that.
40% since December.
Wow.
From 180.
I should have got into that.
260 something.
I should have got into that. I was going to get into it when it dropped. It dropped a couple of times, and then they always get problems with the car, and then it drops. They're not going away. My problem is I kind of like my portfolio right now, so I don't get rid of much. And there's a couple of I've got a little money on the side, but I hate putting it in when it's it just broke 20,000 the Dow. And a lot of I was waiting for that and see if it goes up or down, because a lot of times it starts getting new highs, it'll drop 10%, and that's the time to get in. You wish you would have. So I'm kind of waiting for this other stuff. Then I see some stocks that are really taking hits that shouldn't be. But they'll still take a hit if, the Dow drops. So I'm thinking these are really good buys. Walmart, for one, Walmart's dropped quite a bit. But if the Dow drops 10%, it'll drop 10%. Yeah, I'm actually negative on Walmart. Yeah. It's really taking away from 75 to 66. It's about a 12 or 14% dip. But then if the economy goes south, Walmart always does good. Do you have like any money in the stock market or anything? Mutual funds, anything like that?
Not anymore. No, I just have GICs, and that's about it.
What are they called?
Guaranteed income certificates.
Where are those?
Guaranteed by the government. They're you can buy them for a specific period of time at a specific interest. It's like a guaranteed. It's a guaranteed.
It's a bond
investment.
fund. So I mean, like a bond or a treasury note.
Yeah, same kind of idea.
What is your treasury notes paying up there then? Like that?
I'd have to check what they are today, but the ones I have are just over 4%.
That's not bad at all.
No,
Can't beat that.
no. I think they're 4.125 or something.
See, I would be doing that, but ours right now are like 0.5%. Horrible. I mean, I take that back. I can buy a 30-year bond for probably 3.5%, but that's tying my money up into that for 30 years, you know?
I got you.
Here we go. T-bill, easy. Ours are called T-bills, treasury bills.
That's right. I've heard of that before.
I can get a 1 year for 0.87.
That tells you
I
that
can
they're
get-
not that optimistic for a year, right? They're pretty conservative
I know.
usually, like any bank, right?
Yes, they are.
Right? So if it was any
I can
more
get
than
it.
that, then you'd think, holy crap. This-
I can get a 1 year at my bank for 1.2%.
yeah.
I can get a 2 year for 1.8. I'm sorry, 1.16%.
I think mine are expire or come due, I think this is September this year. So I'm going to take a real,
Ooh, I'll have to look.
real rude surprise right next to go and reinvest. Oh no.
10 year is 2.41.
Yeah, see, I'm going to look at like half or less.
Yeah, where do you get about 10 year?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's this year mine come due.
Do you get them directly through your country, or do you get them through your bank or whatever?
Through the bank.
Okay.
Mind you, it doesn't matter what bank you go to because it's the government you're actually, backing it. It's the same everywhere. It's like not like one bank will give you a better deal than the other. So.
Yeah. Well, your 1 year is 0.61%. That's all we go. They don't go any higher than that right now. That I'm looking at. I'm sure they do. They're looking at the weekly rates. Maybe your treasury bills only go out 1 year. Maybe there's something else after that. Yeah, they're government bonds.
What's that?
Well, I looked up T-bills and they only go to a year, but if your bonds go all the way out to 10 year or longer,
Oh yeah.
benchmark beyond long term.
Bond is more like the government borrowing your money. Or borrowing its own money because it's usually the one backing it up. So,
Well, a lot of times too, it depends on how much you want to put in.
yeah.
You can't buy a 30-year bond here unless you, or T-bill or whatever, unless you have at least $10,000. But you can buy a 1 year for like, $500. Well, your 3 to 5 is 1.08. 5 to 10 is 1.55. Over 10 is 2.34. That's what you're going to get here. And I don't know what it's interesting. That's your 10 long term, which might be like 30 is 2.45, which is actually less than. Oh no, then just slightly better than your 10 year. Yeah. Now, is that tax? You don't pay taxes on it?
No.
Which gives you a little more incentive. You can add probably about 30% to that. So, like a 2% is actually like a 3% taxable.
Yeah.
Overall, though, last year I made 12% in the stock market.
That's decent.
Yeah. Of course, the year before I lost about 25%. So it all depends on the year.
Yeah.
But they say long term, like over 20 years or so, you make about 3.5%, 4% if you just leave it and let it ride.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay.